Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to NBA Live 2003. I am still the Dallas Mavericks. It is still the first round of the playoffs, and the opponent is still the Minnesota Timberwolves. We can change around our jerseys today. I did make one difference between this video and the last. Let's have him wearing black, or we could have him wearing that. Let's have him wearing black. Anyway, I did make one change, one actually fairly major change. I moved my difficulty level up from starter to all-star, I think, was my the difference in difficulty between video 1 and video 2 here. So if it seems like I'm playing worse, it's because I am. It's because the AI is better. However, that was kind of like total destruction, that last game. Gotta get used to not using... Oh, wow. Alright, already a foul called on Michael Finley for basically just ramming into Wally Sczerbiak there. Oh. Ah. Well, I thought I would make that. That's unfortunate. Did not prepare any topics to talk about. I may have meant to, but I'll save those for the Madden video. I could just talk basketball, even though really what I want to talk about is that game against the United States men's national team playing against Jamaica last night. A game I wish I had not watched, because that was just painful. From about minute 70 on, that was just very difficult to watch, as, you know, an American. Alright, they're already calling fouls. Wally Sczerbiak is accepting them. I don't know where Wally Sczerbiak went to college. I could actually probably say all of these players where they went to college, oddly enough. Najera I went to the University of Oklahoma. Got the friends there, University of Kansas. Everybody remembers Steve Nash? Oh, was it Charge? Steve Nash went to Santa Clara, and then Michael Finley was Wisconsin. Michael Finley was like the only player in Wisconsin basketball in the NBA, or from Wisconsin basketball in the NBA for a number of seasons till he retired. I think the only other player from Wisconsin, oh god, I can't even remember who he could have been replaced with. Kind of weird because they've always had a pretty decent history with, you know, Bo Ryan, and they were in the Final Four in the early 2000s. I mean, they weren't like a bad program that wasn't yielding any pros, and obviously they just had two first-round draft picks this year, Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker. I thought it was interesting to see how the Charlotte Hornets ended up picking Kaminsky, who is, I think, a good player. I think he's more NBA ready than a lot of other players is, and you could kind of tell that in that big game against Kentucky. That I don't know that he was outplaying Karl Anthony Towns, but he did seem like he was more prepared, I guess, for that moment, maybe. Something like that. Experience certainly does matter in just in the game in general. And so I think being a senior, that was like his 4th year as a senior. He could have gone into the draft as a junior. Granted, that would have been a terrible year to really go into the draft for him, though, because last year's draft was a lot more stacked, especially not so much at the center position, because he was pretty clearly the 4th best center in. Oh, wow. The French just kind of bowled that guy over. Terrell Brennan, I don't know where he went to college. Anyway, back to Frank Kaminsky on that tangent. I think he'll be okay in Charlotte if they use him. The issue that the Hornets have is that nobody really knows what they're trying to do, and it hurts them every year. And it may have actually helped them last year that they had a guy like... The last year that they made the playoffs, 2014, yeah. When they made the playoffs in 2014, they had They had Al Jefferson just kind of playing his game, which is good, and they let McRoberts be the kind of instigator on defense, where there was some stuff he was getting away with that he probably shouldn't have, and there was a lot of stuff he didn't get away with that was properly called, because there was that one like really heinous just elbow to LeBron James's neck, which was so in the first round of the playoffs last year. He ended up going to Miami, which I thought was a little bit weird. Oh, Finley drops the ball, going for the rock the cradle. Nash can't get the block, unfortunately. I can tell this is much more difficult. And it's not like they're making jump shots they wouldn't have. Hey, there we go. That they wouldn't have typically made, or that I'm not making shots. It's really about on offense getting inside and just getting away from the defense offensively, not being in a place where your shot is blocked or in a bad position for your shot. Finding the open man, and the fouls are just getting called a little bit better in this game, or just a little bit more. I've shot more free throws, and I think they've shot more free throws than they did in the last game already, almost. So there's a pretty typical number of free throws. I used to be critical of the number of fouls in NBA Live and also in March Madness, specifically in 2003, because it never felt like you were getting fouled enough. Whereas if you play a 2K, and of course I'm comparing two games 12 years apart, obviously, so don't be too, take this with a grain of salt. But if you play a game like NBA 2K15 now, it's a pretty decent feel on what is and what isn't a foul. Okay, I felt like maybe I should have made that. That was a little ridiculous. The issue was that I stopped. I didn't let, I pressed the wrong button, actually, effectively. Which is not the controller's fault. It's entirely my fault. I expected, I came up playing this on the GameCube, so I still kind of reached for what would be, oh, that was a terrible shot. Why did I do that? I still sometimes shoot with the, I think I'm going to shoot with the button to the right of the A button, which on the GameCube is the B button. On this, obviously, is the X button, which does not shoot the ball, which is the crossover button. Okay, so we got Garnett on Nash, which you'd think would be a little bit of a, Wally Sczerbiak tearing us up. Damn. Well, okay, there we go. We'll just charge him. Nash has been the only guy I've really been able to get inside with this whole game, though. Outside of, I dunked, I think, with LaFrance once, but Nowitzki has been basically a non-factor. Boom! There we go. Get the jam right over Wally Sczerbiak. Not even defending. What are you doing? Back to the basket. This is 2002 AI here. And I don't mean Allen Iverson AI. Was that intentional? That, his people called him AI, and then like artificial intelligence was, because that was like a plot point, I think, in the Matrix or something. I've never seen the Matrix, but but 2001, you call a guy AI, it's like, oh, it's the robot. It's like calling somebody like the internet or something that would have sounded cool in like 1999. But granted, I don't think like. If any player reminds me of the Matrix, it's certainly not Allen Iverson. Wait, there was a player nicknamed the Matrix. What am I even talking about? Sean Marion was called the Matrix. Even though I think he should have been called like the Ring Finger or something. That's one of my favorite. Sean Marion's one of my favorite players ever, just because, that 2011 championship season, he played extraordinarily well, great defender. And then one of the most ridiculous shooting motions of all time that sometimes out of the blue would work. And that was always the most, not the most exciting games, but those were just fun games to watch. When Sean Marion got hot, it was just like, oh, that's going in. That's going in. Okay. And his free throw shooting motion, like, gets ridiculed, but it's effectively the same free throw motion, for whatever reason, used by Joakim Noah now. And even Shaquille O'Neal used to use that same sort of motion where he would just kind of chuck it at the basket, which never works. I don't understand. At least it didn't work for Shaq. That's like one of the reasons why I assume it didn't work for him is because he was not like actually shooting the ball. He was just kind of flicking it at the basket. Finley, oh, rest in peace, Wally Sczerbiak. Oh, son, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to amputate. As a reference to the Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX intro, if anybody was wondering. That was a great game, by the way. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX, the original and the second one. I should do like a review blowout of that game and the second game, but not BMX Triple X. Oh, we have taken the lead with a Steve Nash 3. And it's already, oh wow, we're already 2 minutes into the third quarter. I guess that's what a 3-minute quarters do for you. Oh shit, Garnett. Why was I worried about Garnett from 3 there? So, don't do that, okay. Hey, Steve Nash grabbing the board. MVP, Steve Nash. He was 2-time MVP. Deservedly so, I think, in at least one of those seasons. I don't know about both. It should have been like 2008 that he actually deserved the MVP award when his Suns teams were really, really good. Like the Phoenix should have an NBA title by now at least. Only 76%. Oh, and there's entire playoffs. Okay, I thought it was just tonight. Right, that is effectively 76 actually. No, it's not. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's 2 out of 3. Oh. Finley, for whatever reason, I keep finding him on the other side of the court. And so this has been a big momentum shift here in the third quarter for the Mavs. As the cicadas begin to come out in the background. I'm sorry, this is Kansas. There is nothing I can do about them. They come out once every, like, 13 years, people say. But it's been that 13th year for, like, the past 4 years, I fear. The cicadas. You may not have been able to hear that on the microphone. It might not have picked it up. Whatever, that's fine. However, I just need to get that off my chest. I hate cicadas. Cicadas are... Oh, Rafe LaFrance with the stuff. Rafe LaFrance, in a way, was somewhat of a prototype... Frank Kaminsky, sorry. In the way that he did not leave college a year early, even though he probably should have. Because, you know, if you enjoy college, I don't blame Frank Kaminsky for not going after his 30, or Rafe LaFrance if anybody's like, yeah, I want to hear your opinion on whether or not Rafe LaFrance should have left after his third year in college. Rafe LaFrance was moving into a 1999 season, I believe, or 98 season, that should have been the best in Kansas basketball history, where they should have won a title. That was one of the best teams in terms of talent ever. Now, they lost in like the second round of the tournament to Arizona. They lost to Mike Bibby. No. Yes. No, they did not. They lost to... Oh, gee, who did... Why can I not remember this, and why would I even expect that to be in my brain somewhere? It was either UTEP or Arizona or I don't know, Villanova. It wasn't like a mid-major. It was just it was a big school, but it wasn't like a big powerhouse basketball school, which Arizona is. They did lose to Arizona, though, once. And I feel like that might have been it. Anyway, he was coming onto one of the most talented teams, possibly in college basketball history, with Paul Pierce and LaFrance and a number of other players whose names escape me, unfortunately, which really doesn't make it seem like the best team in Kansas basketball history, if I can't name most of the players on it. But it was before my time. Apparently somebody from KU, if we're going to be a homer here, is in the Pan American Games. I don't know who. It's either, from what Twitter tells me, it's either Keith Langford or Kevin Young. But Oh, that was a terrible decision. But it went in. Eduardo Najera from the University of Oklahoma. Career never really took off in the NBA, unfortunately. Oh! Nash to Finley on the classic windmill alley-oop. That is how you do it. I'm personally campaigning for Steve Nash Player of the Game. Finley has also earned it. Najera has also, to a certain extent, earned it. The only person who hasn't is Kevin Garnett, who, to my knowledge, has been completely silent this entire game. Dirk Nowitzki somehow shutting him down. Yeah, 18 points. I think Finley has more, because there was like a string of 7 or 8 points where it was just like, alright, pass it up court to Finley. We've been in a zone this entire game, and it has worked. At least for the most part in the second half, which actually that might be the reason that Finley was so quick to get down court, is we've just been running a fast break, I guess, because we're on 11-0 scoring run in a game that was already pretty much clearly finished. But I think that's what helped, actually, was just grabbing the rebound and having somebody who wasn't who wasn't under the basket go ahead and grab it. Last one for good measure doesn't go in. So it's 59-42 in Game 2. To anyone who doubted that I could play this game, myself included, I somehow won that game by a large margin on All-Star difficulty. I don't know that I'll be able to do whatever the last one is. The player of the game, we're going to take bets. Place your comment who you think it'll be. It is, I'm thinking Nash. It is Steve Nash. 1 for 3 from 3-point. 1 for 3 from 3-point land. However, the one he made was the one that actually put us ahead, and we never looked back. Just MVP-like performance from the future most valuable player. Michael Finley also had a great game. Just about everybody did. Let's actually go look at these stats because I'm very proud of them. Alright, the French and Nowitzki with only 4 and 6 points each. Both of them were 100% in terms of percentage. However, oh wow, 7 rebounds for the French in a 12-minute game. That's pretty impressive. And anyway, let's get back to points. Points are the important ones here, and then assists. Also, Najera with 15, Finley with 16, Nash with 18. I believe they actually do just go on whoever scored the most points in the game to determine that award. Also, Nash had the most assists. So, it was earned by the quality of play on the court. We are going to go ahead and exit, and we will see who else advances or continues on in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Nobody is going to advance. Actually, the Kings will advance. Okay, because they play before us. So Sacramento is the first team to officially move into the second round, and it is going to be an interesting series. Assuming if we can sweep, getting the final game in, I guess Minneapolis will be where it's played. If we can get that, that'll be an interesting series against Sacramento. If we do end up playing them, Minnesota doesn't end up coming back. The Lakers and Blazers have split one, and Seattle, surprisingly, looking to take this series from San Antonio. That'll be a big upset if it happens. They'll be heading to their home floor. I believe the Key Arena is their home floor in 2002. Doesn't matter all that much anymore. Jersey up 2 on Indiana. They're not in the same place anymore. New Orleans and Orlando, not quite, what we would now call the Pelicans. All these other ones are looking at sweeps. We don't know that, of course. Philly could come back and have a great home performance. Hell, Toronto could come back and have a great home performance. That's still a Vince Carter team, actually, during his time in that country. With that, we'll end Episode 2 of the NBA Live 2003 NBA Playoffs. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.